Slabdy dab, cheers my G's. Hope you're doing super well. Today I thought I'd do a little producer mindset video about procrastination and 7 tips that can hopefully help you get a little bit more in tune and in focus and get a little bit more work done if you're really serious about, like doing more with your music and stuff like that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into these 7 tips. So really, number one is I really think that discipline is key and you have to learn to enjoy it because discipline is hard. But if you find a way to make it fun, then it's just gonna like be the basis and like the grounds to change like everything. And you can't like overhaul everything massively in your life in one go and just suddenly become like way more disciplined. Like, that's not going to happen. But what you can do is you can ingrain like little tiny seeds of like disciplinary actions like into your daily routine that will like slowly like over the course of time help you become like a more disciplined individual like yourself. And then what will happen if you do that is you'll eventually like start to procrastinate less, and you'll stop like seeking like you'll stop seeking pleasure a little bit as much as you did before, and you'll stop seeking those little like dopamine procrastination spikes because you've like kind of acclimatized or accustomed yourself to becoming a little bit more disciplined. And so like there's a few things I did like during lockdown, for example. Like I had a little bit of like a fitness routine where I would like have I did this, I had it on Patreon a while ago. I did like a little fitness plan and you had to get a certain amount of points each day, like 300 points, like doing something. So it's like a daily sort of challenge. So it was, yeah, fitness little things. I've done like cold showers and things. I do that quite a lot still as well. Like first thing in the morning, have a cold shower because it's like something that you just don't want to do. But if you like force yourself to do it, that's kind of like ingraining a bit of discipline into yourself. So there's loads of things you can pick, but if you like kind of just pick one little thing, and the key is that you do it like every day. So whether you have a cold shower every day, you do 100 push-ups every day, like just pick something that's like, yeah, could be good for your body, and make sure you try and do it like every single day, and that'll like ingrain a bit more discipline like into you. And then like, yeah, later down the road, you'll have like less trouble with like procrastination. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, deadlines, 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 my G's. Up there on the wall behind me, I have a calendar. I like the old school calendar where I can like pen in like my appointments and lessons and things like that. They're all automatically on a system anyway, but sometimes just for fun, I'll like write them in my calendar as well. And I'll write down like my gig dates if I ever have any. And I'll write down like other deadlines and stuff like that. But basically, what you need to do is you need to set yourself like a real deadline and stick to it. And it's hard to sometimes like actually stick to it because you can like come up with excuses like why you couldn't do it. And like it's fine to like fail the first few times to meet your deadline, but like even if you just try, like it's a better chance that you're going to reach that goal than if you didn't write the deadline in your calendar. So you might as well write it anyway. And at the beginning, it might be like 50-50 that you actually hit it, but like when you don't hit it, you will like feel a little bit guilty, and then the next time you have to do it again, and then like the next time you might be like 75% more likely to hit it because you like don't want to have that little kind of guilt that sneaks up on you again. And yeah, maybe by the third time you'll like actually really 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 hit it. So I have a deadline tomorrow for Sunday to release a new Vital pack. So I've kind of I wanted to try and get it done earlier and earlier, but now it's like the deadline and I like have to do it, and it's done now. I just need to put it on my website basically and make a little trailer, whatever. And the week after, I'm releasing a song called Disciple. That's in the calendar. I had like the release date in there and like when I need to finish it by, so I can allow enough time to publish it. That's like all written in the days in my calendar, like the deadlines. And if I can do it a few days before, even better. But you got to get those. You got to get a calendar with deadlines in. Otherwise, like you're just going to be like in an eternal void of like never knowing like when anything's going to get finished. So even if you're not like confident in completely finishing like a perfect song or anything like that, like a release worthy song, you could still be like, right, get this song as best as I can to like, almost perfection, like as to the best of my abilities, and then move on to something else. But here's the date I want to like try and have this song like finished by, and like just do your best to just stick to that. Tip number 3 is to sacrifice one pleasure-based activity. Now, throughout my last sort of few years, I've been slowly like stripping away like more like procrastination like type of things, so that eventually I'm just left with like the actual work to do, and I'll just do that. But like it's hard to like just like strip everything away in one go, especially if you're used to like like relaxing a lot and doing a lot of like pointless stuff like over and over again, lots of different things. Then it's difficult to like cut everything out in one go. So I would recommend that you just pick like one thing that you can like sacrifice, and it has to be something that you love, because otherwise it's not really a true sacrifice. So like for me, one of the first things I sacrificed, this was actually a few years ago, and that's when I started to really unlock more time, was I sacrificed video games like completely. So I sold my Xbox. In my teenage years, I used to play every single day. I used to be a massive first person shooter fan. I used to play Halo like religiously every day, and it's all I cared about. And so it was really completely stopping that. Like that was a massive sacrifice because it's something that I really loved. And then like I treat like life like a video game. So like I have loads of skills and things that I can level up like in real life that actually have a real world like advantage. Like whether it's like learning a new language, or like learning the piano, or like increasing my production skills. And there's like loads of things, and like life is like a video game if you want it to be. So you don't have to actually play video games and like waste all your time like doing something that's pretty much pointless, like completely pointless to be fair. But that's like one thing that you could sacrifice. But I've sacrificed loads of other things as well, like Netflix. Like I don't watch TV. Alcohol at the moment, like I don't drink alcohol. Don't really go partying. Like there's loads of things that you could do to like give yourself like the one up and have like more time to actually pursue like your goals that are going to like leave you a bit happier in the like much more happier in the long run. But like I would just pick one thing that you do a lot and like sacrifice that. Not like everything in one go, but like try and think of one thing, even if it's something really small, that you can just cut out, and then just having a little extra time and a little extra space is going to allow you to like just get a lot more music done. So let's go. So another tip is start up another sort of daily activity which is productive, which is not music production. So for me at the moment, like I'm trying to learn Spanish just using like the Duolingo app, which is pretty easy and pretty fun and free. But like there's loads of things you could try and pick up that will just like sharpen your brain, because you can't like spend the whole day in front of a computer like making music, because that's insane. Like you have a limited amount of creativity, and you don't want to like completely make it so boring for yourself by only doing that. So my tip would be like find another thing that is like a new sort of hobby or something that you can start that like helps you, or something that is also productive in some other area of your life. And then you'll just be like more in that overall kind of growth mindset of like improving yourself, not only with your music but also with other things, and it kind of goes hand in hand. So when you come back to like making music, you haven't been like rinsing all of your like dopamine like scrolling on Instagram or TikTok. I like have absolutely never had any interest in consuming content on Instagram or TikTok. I just don't care about it at all. I use it purely to like promote myself and get my stuff out there and build an audience. And if you're doing that, I think that's great. But like if you're actually just scrolling mindlessly, that'd be like the number one thing I'd sacrifice like straight away. Like just delete it if you struggle. And if you're not really like posting, then if you're not posting to like promote your business or to promote yourself as a musician, then you should not even have it on your phone. Like that's my kind of thing. I have it on my phone, but I literally spend zero time consuming it. Like it's only to like upload stuff, like to promote my music and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that would be like one the from the previous tip, like the absolute first thing that you would sacrifice, along with like video games, Netflix, and all that kind of other stuff. But anyway, what was my point? Oh yeah, another productive daily activity. So whether it's 10 minutes a day learning a bit of Japanese, whether it's 10 minutes a day learning how to play the bassoon, 10 minutes a day, so many things you could learn, or 10 minutes a day or getting a new book and like just reading something interesting, just like sharpening your mind. Like try and find something else that's enabling you to be more productive, that's like not making music, and then they'll go hand in hand. Next tip. So there's absolutely no excuse for this, even if you're in a wheelchair. There's some kind of fitness that you can do, whether it's like finger exercises, I don't know, but every human being should be able to do like some fitness every single day. And I'm not like a fitness coach, although it would be quite cool. I'm not like a doctor, but it's like obvious that the mind and body are like interlinked. So if you want to get better at making music, you want to procrastinate less, work on your body, and it's going to sharpen your mind. Like it's probably the biggest tip that I could give, to be fair, is like the harder you work like on your body, the like sharper your mind's going to be, the less need you're going to have for like external like dopamine hits, because you're going to get all that from yourself, and then like you just won't have the need to procrastinate as much. So like I'll like hit the gym, and then straight after I have like so much more motivation and energy to like put it all into my work, like into making music and stuff like that. So it's just like a no-brainer really. And the key is if you don't do any at all, like which I used to not do any at all, is to start small but do it every day. So 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes of push-ups, or have like, you could alternate push-ups one day, sit-ups next day, like pull-ups the other day. Like if you can't actually do pull-ups, there's like hundreds of ways to do pull-ups without doing full like body pull-ups that are still effective enough. So all of this stuff you can do at home if you have a floor. If you live like on a floating like kind of in a floating apartment that has no like floor, then that might be a problem. But if you've got a floor, that's all you need. So there's no excuse. You don't actually need to go to the gym. Like, I didn't go to the gym for like the first 2 years of me working out, and I got like way more like ripped than I was before. I used to be a right skinny little mess, and I built like loads of muscle, like just doing push-ups and pull-ups at home, like nothing else. So you don't need to join a gym. You just need to do a little bit of that. But the idea, going back to the first point with discipline, is that it's every day, and there's no excuse. Unless you're like absolutely sick in bed with a fever, then there's no excuse. So every single day, 10 minutes of exercise. Next tip. So my next tip is is mindfulness or meditation, 10 minutes a day. But it's actually something that I only started to do recently. So this may be like one of the lower down tips. But what I've found from doing it recently is, what I would do is I would like meditate for 10 minutes in the morning, and I'll do it before. I'll try and do it before, like I check my emails, before I go on my phone, before any devices or electronics. Do 10 minutes of meditation first. So just basically what I'm doing is just kind of sitting in a nice pose, and then like I might listen to some like kind of wind chimes or like some meditation soundtrack on Spotify or something like that for 10 minutes, and just like focus on deep breathing. And the idea is just to like still your mind and to like get yourself into that space where you're not like searching for dopamine hits. So you're not starting your day off like by trying to get like an Instagram feed hit or something like that. You just start off your day just like in like solitude and just like relaxed. So that'll like help you throughout the day to have like a bit more like patience, and then you won't like feel the need to like draw for different methods of procrastination as much, because you'll be a little bit calmer, a little bit more patient, and then you'll be able to like get on with your work a little bit easier. So something I've only started doing recently, but I guess I've always been conscious of it, and maybe I've done it like in other ways, like mindfulness in some other way. But yeah, like it doesn't have to be super complicated. It's just like sitting with yourself and like doing nothing for like a while, and just not needing to like not having that need to like consume something. Just like getting rid of that. Like no YouTube videos, no music, unless it's like, you know, just like soundtrack kind of just to quieten your mind. So just do that a little bit like every morning or something like that, and then it's going to help in the long run with not needing to procrastinate, and you'll be able to get on with shit. So let's go on to the next tip. Final procrastination tip, just to really hammer it home, is just get on with the work even when you don't feel like it. That's the number one thing that's probably helped me in the last couple of years. Because if you look at the catalogue of music that I've made, like the amount of releases, it's not been like massive. But then if you add that to all of the YouTube videos I've done as well, plus like all the mentoring I do like mostly every day, and probably other stuff that I'm not even thinking of now. But like all the YouTube stuff as well, like editing, recording, thinking of ideas. Like I don't have anyone else working with me, so it's a lot. And yeah, being able to do all of that, it was only possible because I managed to push through, do it anyway, even when I didn't want to. So, like at least 50% of the time, when I was doing it, or like didn't necessarily want to do it, it was just purely like getting on with it regardless. So just sit the hell down, take a coffee if you need, take a tea, whatever you drink, make it, put the kettle on. Once that kettle's on, put the drink down on your desk and sit down with it. And there's no excuses. Just put that drink on your desk, sit down with it, and just get on with it. All right. So get on with it, my G's. Let's go.